Larry Kudlow spoke today, so get ready because if you listen to him, you're now qualified to get some more hazard pay. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE. What a day it has been with KRAZY Larry Kudlow speaking again today as the hazard pay discussion heats up in the second stimulus check deal. This is afternoon's LALATE, our 2-hour programming block every afternoon. Thank you for joining me. It starts with the check, then hazard pay, then FPUC, and finally rent assistance. Hazard pay has been that secret child of the second stimulus check debate. And this afternoon, Nancy Pelosi was so kind to honor this channel to roll out a poster that matches my shirt. She rolled out a purple poster. And while I appreciate the sentiments in considering my color choice, she failed to do what I would have really liked to for her to do, which is give me a damn update about hazard pay. Nancy Pelosi delivered a purple poster for press this afternoon to explain what the deal offers were between her and Steve, a topic that I covered extensively in the first video about the check. And while the poster was impressive in its color, it was not impressive in its subject. 4 items were mentioned, and of those 4 items was not hazard pay. In fact, the second stimulus check package includes many items, nearly 20, and once again, Pelosi did not give us an update about hazard pay. So is hazard pay approved under second stimulus package? How much is hazard pay? How do you get hazard pay? Why am I now involved with helping you get potentially hazard pay in the future? And what the hell is Larry Kudlow doing again? Let me start with KRAZY Larry Kudlow. Larry Kudlow today said, I gotta say this with a straight face because it's crazy. He said the second stimulus check debate is not reached and the second stimulus package has no agreement because there's a voters' rights provision in it. What? Larry Kudlow was appearing on CNBC, the channel that once unfortunately paid him a salary, and he explained why he thinks there's no agreement between Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi about the second stimulus package, which includes your hazard pay. And he said the reason why there's no agreement is because there's that horrible voters' rights provision in there. The broadcasters started to do this. As Dana Bash did this, earlier this week when he gave us crazy news about FPUC. And they said, what? He said, so much of the Democrats are asking are really liberal wish list items, like voters' rights. The broadcasters held and then turned to the on-air broadcasters to say, what? He continued. He said, that's not our game, and the president can't accept that kind of deal. So we'll wait and see in the negotiations. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is working on that, but so far it's a stalemate based upon the Voters' Rights Initiative. What? What is he talking about? Let me quote exactly how CNBC later then covered its own story. It's unclear what provisions related to voters' rights, a keystone of American democracy, Kudlow believes are a priority only for Democrats, and where it was in any second stimulus package. A White House spokesperson did not immediately identify the specific voting plans Kudlow was criticizing, and when asked for comment, the White House would not identify them further. So your hazard pay is being held up by something that doesn't exist, that no one's asking for, that inherently exists under the Constitution, your right to vote. Where are we going with this, Larry? You're killing me, Larry. There's a commercial here in Southern California about sofas where the guy asks for a reduction on sofas and the guy says, you're killing me, Larry. Larry's literally killing me. So what's happening with hazard pay? Well, then there's this. We started the week with Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary to Donald Trump, giving us great news. We had great news all across the board. Steve Mnuchin said there's a deal, except there's one thing in the deal that's not allowing us to make a deal, which is a bailout of states, $1 trillion. And I can give you the amount of money, it's $1 trillion. And Nancy Pelosi confirmed there was no deal because of $1 trillion. And she confirmed they were apart by $1 trillion. We understood it. We got the numbers. We understood everything. Steve Mnuchin also did a line item. This. We had agreement. We're at a $1 trillion stalemate because of a bailout of states, which is $1 trillion, and Nancy Pelosi confirmed it. It was so clear. Just, get the thing with the bailout of the states done. It's not hazard pay. You have an agreement on hazard pay. I got it. We understand that hazard pay has not gone to the mat. We got it. We have an agreement on hazard pay. This is such great news. Then yesterday, more great news came. Mitch McConnell said, I need a deal done this week. We can't do this longer. We got to do a deal right now. I'm urging them to do a deal right now. Pete Navarro, cabinet members of the White House, said you have to do a deal right now and meet in the middle. Chuck Schumer, who's been in the negotiation room, said have to do a deal right now. It continued. Mitt Romney, have to do a deal this week. Marco Rubio said have to do a deal this week. Then came the protesters. Mitch, give me my money. They were going everywhere. Mitch, give me my money. And Mitch said we're going to do the deal right now. And the day started out great. Thursday morning, Nancy did her most dramatic reference ever as the foghorn hits me with a perfect timing. Foghorn's back today as well. Nancy said, we got to do a deal in August. We can't wait to September, because if we wait to September, this is Nancy's words, people will be dead. Okay, that's pretty, I'm convinced with that, Nancy. We got to do a deal now. They're going to be dead if we wait to next month. That was then, and then came this afternoon with the purple poster and the warning that, okay, people will be dead. We'll just wait. What? Now, she didn't say wait, but she said we're more than $1 trillion apart. We have all these other things we're not agreeing upon. Well, then does that mean we don't have an agreement on hazard pay? What's going on here? So as we sit here now on a Thursday afternoon, we don't know who to believe. We don't know anything of Mnuchin was true or anything of Pelosi's is true. We don't know if the people urging for a second stimulus check deal to be done this week are consistent or true in their beliefs or contradictory. We sort of know Mitch McConnell's contradictory because minutes ago he said, hey, this is the other Mitch. The Mitch yesterday said you have to do a deal this week. Today's Mitch said Nancy Pelosi is her way of negotiating is like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if it sticks. Whether or not you don't like that remark because she's Italian, take it with a grain of salt. But there it is. So the people who wanted a deal yesterday don't want a deal today. The people who are worried about people dying next month this morning now said, okay, just let them die. And then there's everything else where Nancy Pelosi says that America is going hungry and that the Republicans only offered $250,000 for food, but on Monday, Steve Mnuchin said he offered a lot more than $250,000 for food. What the hell is going on? We literally don't know. What we do know is you're entitled to hazard pay. What we do know is that hazard pay is still piling up. Hazard pay is a lot of money. It's $10,000, up to $10,000 if you made less than $100,000 last year. Hazard pay is calculated based upon the number of hours you worked during this pandemic, starting in January up to the present, times $13 an hour. Boy, LALATE, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. You take the number of hours you worked, whether it's full-time, part-time, overtime, listening to Larry Kudlow time, dealing with Nancy Pelosi's crap by the hour time, or believing Steve Mnuchin's untrue statements by the hour time. You take that and times it by $13 an hour, and you get a calculation number of hours. If you're at $10,000, congratulations. If you're less than $10,000, fine. If you're over than $10,000, you only get $10,000. If you made more than $100,000 last year, you get a $5,000 hit. How does that hit hurt? Or how does that hit? The hit hits really nicely. Lump sum. Bam. Like Emerald Lagasse used to say, bam. $10,000 which hits your account. Bam, if you're at that threshold right now. Or $5,000, bam, hit your account. If you're not at the threshold, don't worry, you'd also get a lump sum. So let's say you're at $8,000, bam, hits your account. It's like Emerald just keeps on throwing that that hot sauce to make that blackened catfish on Food Network. It's just bam, bam, bam. That's how it works. If you're not at the thresholds, don't worry. You hit that, you get that bam, and then you get $13 an hour going forward. Well, then who's essential? Is Mark Meadows essential? No. Is Larry Kudlow essential? God knows. So who's essential? It's defined in the HEROES Act, which is online. People yesterday were sending me links to it. I'm like, that's not the HEROES Act. That's Domino's pizza delivery takeout menu. If it's a bill proposal, it looks like a bill. It's written in really sort of fancy font and has numbers everywhere. So if there's a beautiful graphic logo at the top, it's not the HEROES Act. It's not a bill. If it's in color, it's not the bill. It looks old, like some of these negotiators. It looks old. And so if you go to page 40 something of that bill, which is about 100, 200 pages long, it defines essential workers. Essential workers are very, very clearly defined. So I got them. Exotic dancers are not essential workers unless you live in Atlanta. Then maybe they are. People getting me really crazy questions about whether I'm an essential worker. You know, you generally know if you're an essential worker. And then there's people who want to battle over, am I an essential worker? I'm not here to battle about it. They're having discussions with their employer, and the employer says, you're not essential. Or they're asking their sister, you're not essential. Don't do that. Essential workers are very clearly defined in the bill. So this is really great news. You don't have to do this analysis. The bill does it for you. Essential workers include anyone who is working in a grocery store, in a convenience store, in a liquor store, all essential. Any worker working in any part of grocery store, essential. Anyone working in a restaurant, essential. Anyone is Uber and Lyft, essential. Anyone is a driver, whether it's a taxi or a bus, essential. Anyone in aerospace, essential. Anyone in a pharmacy, essential. Anyone in the dentist's office, essential. Anyone in a security guard, essential. They're taking out the garbage, and hopefully they're taking out all the garbage I've had to hear this week. Anyone that is essential gets essential hazard pay. The areas of gray, and I don't mean 20 shades of gray. I mean the gray areas of the bill are, those people are not essential either. Don't ask me that question. If you want to send me pictures, you can, but don't ask me that question. The 20 shades of gray under the bill are people who work at a Costco, CVS, Walgreens, not very clearly defined. Because it's a general retail store, which is not essential, but the pharmacy and the grocery store in there is essential. So it's not clear what's going to happen. And then there's people asking me about, what about auto repair? No. What about lawyers? No. What about accountants? No. What about home health care? Yes. What about nursing care? Yes. What about anything, physical therapy? Yes. All those, yes. What's important to understand, it's industry defined, not task defined. So the pharmacy, essential, and everything in the pharmacy. So if you're literally like cleaning the floor in the pharmacy, you're essential. It doesn't matter that you're not the pharmacist. As the foghorn tries to make the point more apparent. That's what's great news. It's a lot of money. How do you get the money? Well, the way you get the money is you would wait for the bill to pass, and then your employer shall apply for you. The employer does not have to apply for you. It's not required the employer applies for you, and the employer does not apply for you. There's nothing you can do. Yeah. So what happens, LALATE? How do we do this and how do we get this? Well, the good news is I'm not leaving you, and I expect hazard pay to be a bloodbath between you and the employer if it becomes law. I don't expect it to be easy. I don't expect the employers to be jumping to get your money. And so I expect something troubling to happen about getting the money, separate and apart from Nancy and Steve making it law. And the good news is that I'm here for you. And by all likelihood, I'm going to try to figure out a way to assist you, hopefully, that makes sense, if it does make sense, to get hazard pay approved, much like EIDL. What a day it's been. Coming up next is FPUA, UI, and all that unemployment assistance great news. Go to the front of this channel and hit that subscribe button, that alert button. We're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. That was our goal I described on Monday. We've already gone up. We're like 25,000 away, so we can do it. Maybe 5 days. Let's do it. More importantly, that subscribe and alert button gives you an ability to get alerts from me by the minute when something breaks. If you are not getting alerts from me, and a lot of people are saying that, look in the description, look in the comments to this video. You'll see a post by me in the comments, 3 steps of what you need to do to ensure that you're getting notification. The third step is basically making sure your account is set to public. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay inspired. Thank you for joining me. Coming up next is unemployment. As always, stay with LA for more.